my God! You're okay! Oh, this is good news.
I wake up. You're okay.
Oh!
Yay!
I forgot about you. Yes! So good to see you okay.
How are you doing?
Greetings, mortals, and welcome to episode 7 of Canticle of the Crimson Wake on the Tabletop Sandbox podcast. This is our actual play Blades in the Dark podcast. And let's just kind of jump into it. We completed our score at the Berkeley Manor last time, and now we are jumping into downtime. So let's start by dealing with payoff. You guys earn rep. The crew earns 2 rep by default, and because this was a tier 1 enemy, you guys are earning 1 more rep.
Sweet.
So a total of 3. Are we close to our next level?
We're 1 away from the next thing, guys.
Nice. So our next score, you will automatically get to a point where you can then raise in tier.
Yay.
And the way that you do that is you have to clear your rep, and then I think extra rep will roll over though, so you'll get to keep any extra that you earn.
Cool.
But you'll clear your rep track, and then you have to spend coin equal to your new tier times 8. And technically we're at a weak hold right now, so your new tier, so it would be 1 times 8. So you would have to spend 8 coin to
We
level
wouldn't
up.
go up to a strong
And
hold?
you would, so normally you would automatically, once you hit the rep limit, you would go up to the next, you would go from a weak hold to a strong hold. But because we're at war and you automatically bounce up to the next tier, I'm going to just have you guys spend the coin when you upgrade next, because technically you'll be upgrading to tier 1, even though you won't be able to have those benefits yet until the war is over. Make sense?
Maybe the war ends in this downtime.
I forgot about the war.
Yeah, we kind of stepped away from the war.
It certainly has been happening.
Dang.
Yeah, so this was a standard score, and you would get decent loot, which is 6 coin. But because a lot of that coin was paid in information, I'm only going to give you guys 3 coin for this next one, subtracted to 2 because of the tithe to Bazo.
Cool.
So you just get 2 coin for that thing. It was kind of not a normal heist, and you took information, which I don't know, I might give you checks on that clock automatically. Maybe it's the next 2 rolls I'll give you greater effect for your downtime project of locating your wife, Kablov. Okay. Heat.
I think it went quiet.
I think it went
It
quiet.
was very contained.
Yeah.
It was contained to an extent, except that one of your members got jumped and beaten up and dropped in a river, and then you threw a guy off of a balcony, which was in view of other people. And so I'm going
but
to
we
say
quelled those people.
you did quell those people, but that
People quelled.
didn't mean it was smooth and quiet. That means it was contained.
Right, yeah.
So you guys are going to take 2 heat.
Oh, there we go, guys. Wanted level 2, baby.
We got rid of our heat. Let's go.
Yay!
Oh, we might get
We're
some
going
more.
to take some more.
Celebration.
Do any of those roll over, or is it
Nope, nothing
those
rolls
2?
over off those, but I'm
Okay,
assuming there will
but
be
you're
more.
going to take a few more.
We did kill a
Add
guy.
+1 heat for a high profile or well-connected target. Yes.
Oof.
Add +1 heat if the situation happened on hostile turf. No. Add +1 heat if you're at war with another faction. Correct. Add +2 heat if killing was involved.
It was never confirmed he died.
Yeah,
he was
died.
impaled by
I
a
said
fence.
he was mortally wounded. That means he died afterward.
Oh.
Good news. We are almost full on heat. He died to the fence. He didn't die from Kavlov.
So we
True.
move up to wanted level 2 and then
Add 4.
have 4 heat. Yeah.
That's so
you guys are
much.
good
Ouch.
at accruing that heat. So now you're at wanted level 2?
Yep. I'm gonna make that.
Yeah, so a prison sentence would be several months.
Hence why we're framing someone.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
We're doing it.
And now, because you are heat level 2 or wanted level 2, you're rolling 2 dice. So go ahead and roll 2 dice.
Am I rolling these dice?
Somebody.
Zach, go.
Everybody, please.
6 and 1.
Oh.
Okay. Interesting. after you make your way home from the Berkeley Manor, you walk. What entrance do you use to access your lair? Do you go through Sawtooth's place, or do you go kind of underground?
I always imagined we went through Sawtooth's.
Yeah, we go in the front through Sawtooth to see Sawtooth.
Yeah. You guys walk into Sawtooth's shop, and it is a ruin. Things are thrown everywhere, and you see Sawtooth is just kind of sitting on like an overturned cabinet, kicking at some of the papers on the ground, and he looks up at you and says, "Oh shit, you gotta get out of here! You gotta get out of here! They're in the lair!"
They're in... Who?
It's the red sashes!
Oh, fuck.
You pissed them off right good, apparently. This is just the beginnings of what they done to you down there. You gotta get out of here. There's way too many of them for you to fight.
Place,
You could go.
meet the parents?
We go back to our house.
Okay, home, I guess.
Or wait, where does? Okay, what about Spark? I don't know. What if she doesn't
Wait, you
know
have,
to come
you
out?
have a place that you usually
Yeah, I
sleep
do.
at,
I do
right?
have an apartment. Let's go
Yeah,
there.
you have an apartment.
Get to your apartment.
Sure.
Spark can figure it out.
So basically, this is me trying to make sense
We'll
of
find her. Well, we know where she lives, right?
the show of force option. Because that was the only option for what I rolled. So a faction with whom you have a negative status makes a play against your holdings. Give them one claim or go to war.
Already at work.
And if you have no claims, lose one hold instead. So you can't lose one hold because you're a weak tier on you're a weak hold on tier 0. You're already at war with the red sashes, and you don't have any other claims except your lair. So
Which is hidden.
basically, you are going to be able to find a new lair, and it'll have like the benefits that your old lair had. But for right now, you are without a home.
But I won't be with Sawtooth.
Or pergola.
Your pergola has been disassembled.
Our IKEA pergola taken apart and put back into the original box.
They returned it to IKEA
Returned it to IKEA.
in its original state.
They broke it literally just to peacefully disassemble it and put it in a box and return
put it back in the box and return it. And as you guys see this and Sawtooth kind of shoos you out, you are like walking through the streets,
Sawtooth.
through yes.
Come with us.
I mean, they kind of messed my place up, but I've still got a business to run, yeah?
We can find it. Okay, we could find a new place.
I claimed ignorance about your existence, but, I've got money to make, especially to replace all the things they broke.
All right, I'll be back soon anyway. I don't know if you can tell, but I got quite the cut here.
You know what? I'll do a house call for you.
Okay, thanks.
We'll
let you know where we're
I don't want
staying.
you to come and get caught here.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, we're going. Okay, let's go.
And then kind of as you're walking through the alleys, you hear, psst, hey,
Keep walking.
lads, over here.
Who are you?
And you see Crick kind of, tucked in an alley in shadow. And then you go into that alley and you see that Crick has a significant black eye and kind of scrapes across his face, and one arm is in a sling. And he says, looks like they took a run at your holdings too.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Took everything from us.
they're on the attack now.
Oh yeah, we tried to ransom Isha, the Eruvian noble girl, the swordswoman. Apparently the Eruvian royals cared a bit more about her than we were anticipating. They pulled some strings, called in some favors, and they hit the coal warehouse with more than we could handle. We're kind of out on our asses too. Bazo's okay, but
Thank God. Okay.
we lost a lot of men.
Oh no.
As far as I can tell, we were in the lead by a lot in this conflict, but now we're about even and we're both... Well, it's been rough. Bazo might need your help soon. But until then, Lelo, keep your heads out Red Sash territory. Stay safe. And he just kind of like tosses up a hood over his horns and ducks away. And as you guys are kind of out in the town, either all, going back home to crash or like crashing in Yagoda's apartment, that is where we're going to begin downtime. And also, like, you guys haven't reconnected with Spark yet. Not in the first day. So does anybody have... You're still at war, so you have one free downtime activity. Does anybody have an idea of what they would like to do?
I would like to indulge my vice. I imagine at some point I make it back home to, our parents. I see them for a little bit. I probably stay the night there a little bit because I know it's going to be safer than other places.
What about your wound? Do you try to hide it?
Yeah, I try to hide it. I put on a new pair of pants and maybe try to
like bandage
cover
it up yourself.
Bandage it up myself so that it's not like bleeding out. But
what action will you use to try and make your parents not notice?
Could I like fashion some sort of like thicker bandage that'll like actually soak up the blood, like a tampon for my wound, that'll like actually like soak it up, but like not let it bleed through my pants. Like I'm wearing pants because it's. And
you want to invent a leg diaper?
Yeah, pretty much. That like isn't. That'll cover up the wound that might help it heal, but who cares?
So instead of just like cloth bandages, you go with something, you try to engineer
sturdier.
something.
Yeah.
And what action are you thinking?
You invent gauze.
Go for it.
I invent gauze.
I invent gauze single-handedly.
I was going to say like just like a thick Band-Aid with some gauze, but I didn't want to say that. 2.
Yeah. I think it's just more obvious as a massive bulge underneath your pants.
It's just like
and
a
then
shirt.
You're limping on it, you know? And I think you definitely get grilled by your parents about that. What reaction do you have by like, what are you doing that is getting you injured like this?
Work is really tough right now. I've been working
What happened?
Something fell on me. Something sharp fell into my leg.
Oh my, do you have health insurance?
I don't know
Have you been to the doctor yet?
Yeah, I go to the doctor all the time.
You really suck at lying.
Every week.
It's true.
That is the truth.
I'm not lying. No, I'm really low on money right now. I can't always afford to, and the insurance isn't great.
You can stay here.
Okay.
We'll take care of that.
Okay.
But while you're under our roof,
Okay.
you live by our rules.
Fair enough.
And so you're kind of in hot water with your parents. You're kind of like smothered in a way because you don't.
I'm the baby too.
Yeah. You would have to like sneak out to go get drugs.
Oh, I do. So in the middle of the night while I'm staying there at some point,
Sneak out and limp
sneak out. I
to
limp.
Cat Crawl Alley.
Yep, it's real rough. I limp all the way to Cat Crawl Alley, but I don't look that abnormal there. A lot of people have limps and look a little rough, and I find Bryle, and I'm like, I'm not doing so good, Bryle. You gotta need, you know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot less small talk than normal, and he gives you a strange look that might have to do with your leg, but
You doing
I don't
okay?
know.
You seem off.
Here. And he just
You
kind of
okay,
gives you your
Bryle?
drugs.
Okay. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I limp off.
Have a nice day.
Sorry, the customer
Most polite
service voice.
scoundrels.
Yeah. But there's some weird tension that you're not sure what it's about with Bryle. Maybe he's just,
okay.
maybe he's
Can
going
I
through a breakup.
ask somebody about it? I go up to, what is it? Bird. Hey.
You don't go up to Bird.
Oh, I
That's
go
not
up to
how
somebody
it works.
else. Somebody else that I know in the alley.
Like another junkie?
Yeah. Hey, is Bryle okay?
What the fuck you want?
Is
What?
Is Bryle okay?
Who's Bryle?
Him over there. He probably has other
He
names.
looks fine.
Like he's
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm great. Are you okay?
Always.
All right. Good shit, my dude. All right, I'm a.
What?
You want some? You want?
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to do it? You want a trip together?
What?
Okay.
Yeah. Give me some of that.
I give him like $1 and I leave. Just
$1?
enough.
You give him a handful of silver slugs.
Yeah. Buy yourself something nice. Have a nice day.
You're all right. You're all right.
You're
Go,
all right,
go,
too.
Go.
Yeah.
Plus 1 reputation with the junkies.
I've had a good reputation. I am a junkie. And I hobble back to to my house.
Yeah, and just like artlessly climb through the window.
Yep.
Just
and I go
fall
up
into
to
your
my little
bedroom.
spot on the roof
Uh-huh.
and I shoot up for a little bit and
Yeah,
I
and
feel
you-
okay. The pain goes away for a second on my wounds. All the thoughts. I'm still thinking about Spark, like worried about where she's at, what she's doing, worried about our lair was ransacked. I'm terrified about what's going to happen with the red sashes. And for a little while, I let it all slip away. Mm-hmm. And it's nice.
You do have the sensation of eyes looking down upon you from the sky, but in a way, I mean, it's up to you if you interpret it as such, but it might even be interpreted as comforting. Almost somebody not watching you, but watching out for you.
Yeah. I just look up and wave.
Yeah, and you see just a star kind of twinkle.
Yeah. All right. I got to roll to reduce my stress. Right?
Yes. Was that a 1?
Dang. That sucks.
Reduces stress by 1.
Am I allowed to take from my stash to use this coin, or am I not allowed to take from
For
that?
every 2 coin you pull out of your stash, you only get 1 coin.
Okay. That's good. That's just to
It's
know.
like invested. It's
Maybe
like
for the future.
non-liquid assets.
Gotcha. All right. That's
Like
my
pulling
thing.
out your
But you
401k
technically
early.
could, yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Sure.
Might not. Who knows?
Very sweet.
Who else has a downtime activity they'd like to do?
I need to relieve stress.
Okay. How are you doing that?
I go find Salia.
All right. Back in your old spot in Tangletown?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You have, well, let's have you roll and then we'll see how it goes, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll your worst attribute. You have 2 in all.
No, I have 0.
Oh, okay.
in my worst
Nice.
attribute.
I was going to say 0 in, what is that, insight you have 0 in?
3. 3's the lower.
3.
Insight, yeah.
Cool. So you reduce 3 stress. You go through this process with Salia again, and it's weird because having the information that you do, you realize, like, the information, like, you have a lead about Yelsina, and you have this image of a building in your mind. And yet, as you do this with Salia, as she kind of helps you put your energy, your emotional energy, your hopes looking for your wife out into the ghost field and draw these faces of ghosts together as they tell you information, you realize that making progress toward the goal is not actually what you come to Salia for, because you haven't actually gotten any solid leads since you've been to Duskwall, which is where you met Salia. Even as you're doing this, you kind of have this moment of realization after the fact, like, oh, I feel a lot better, but there are much better leads I could be following up on, and I'm after that session of just kind of putting my emotions out there into the ghost field and ostensibly to look for my wife, I still feel better even though I didn't make any progress. You have this moment of realization, whether you internalize that and work off of it or just brush it away as like, of course, no, this is also just working along towards that goal. That's up to you. But you at least have that moment of clarity, like, oh, it's not the finding of the wife that is relieving the stress, it's the outpouring of emotion into that ghost field. And maybe even just being in that space where you're technically not with a living being. There is maybe somebody living trapped inside of the body that Salia is possessing, but really you're just speaking with ghosts.
As Kavlov is leaving, he takes his lantern, makes his way down the ladder, exits, feeling a lot better after all that pent-up emotion, especially since finding out about the hooded ones. Letting go of that sort of clears his mind. And he's like, what the hell am I doing? And he's gonna go look for this building. Like, what am I doing trying to use the ghosts to find this? Like, she's here. So I'm gonna take the 2 that I have stashed and make it a coin so that I can do a long-term project, search for wife.
We also have 2 coin from the
but
score.
I don't want to take that.
We're putting one into framing Chef Roselle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's been decided.
So, yeah, I will more than happily get rid of my stash.
Yeah, you pull that money out of your stash, and you are going to work toward locate Mrs. Kavlov or locate Yeltsin. That's what I have written down in my notebook.
Locate Mrs. Kavlov?
Locate Mrs. Kavlov, because I couldn't quite remember your wife's name when I wrote it down. It is an 8 clock, and we have 1 tick on it so far. But in what way do you go about pursuing the goal of locate Yeltsina?
I think at this point, he's sort of letting the anger flow. He's going around Duskwall asking people that he's encountered before. Like, he's not just asking your average street urchin where this place might be, but
connections,
he's going around to bars or strip clubs, whatever exists in this area, and he's not asking nicely.
So are you thinking skirmish or command? Command, okay. And you will get greater effect. So whatever result you will get 1 higher.
4.
4. So that 4 or 5 becomes a 6, and we're going to mark 3.
So close.
Good shit.
3 ticks. You're actually not. You're halfway there.
Halfway there?
Yes.
Because it's an
Let's
8
go.
clock. Yep. But we are halfway to locating Yeltsina. So you have yet to locate that specific building.
But have I, did he get any tidbits of information?
From the mental idea that you have of it and the description that you give and you talk to people, most of the people you encounter don't know what specific building it could be, but eventually you come to the realization that it is likely in the district of Brightstone. A mansion.
It's where all the rich people live.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
Unlike the mansion that you went to in 6 Towers, which was kind of boarded up, and this is the shining utopia of Duskwall, if there could be such a thing. This is where the wealthy elite have their grand mansions and the luxury shops that they frequent.
They have light bulbs.
They have like electronic street lamps, none of which are burnt out. And if they ever burn out, they are immediately replaced. Like that kind of deal.
Wow.
Like elite blue coat patrols that man the streets. And so it is a rough place to try and even walk as a scoundrel. Kavlov, as you're making threats and making your way around and you discover what district this building is in, at one point, you're walking the streets of Crowsfoot, and you feel a strong hand kind of grab you by the arm, and you're tensed up. You turn ready to kind of, throw down, and you see a man who looks fairly similar to you. Large, muscular, broad shoulders. He has long, kind of brunette, like lighter brown hair, and braided in typical Skovland fashion. And you see he's kind of scarred up a little bit on one side of his neck. And he turns to you and says, he just kind of like grabbed your arm, and you turn and he's not even looking at you yet. And he just looks at you and says, "Brother, I've heard about the things that you're doing, and I'm impressed. But you gotta watch out who you make alliances with. All those Akarosi folk, as soon as you stop being useful to them, they'll throw you out like yesterday's trash. You gotta stick with the brothers from the homeland. I'm Ulf Ironborn. Ask around, you can find me."
I do the arm embrace.
Yeah, and this dude is thickly built and like taut as iron.
Yeah. All right, Ulf. Kavlov, sort of processing it, is just gonna, he embraces his arm and slightly distrusting, but with like the kind of like, you're one of my kind, and I haven't seen one of my kind in a while at this point. Like I've been like even the entire travel from Skovlan, I've probably encountered like
and they're around.
Skovlanders now and then, but
they're around in Duskwall, but you don't have like a regular group that you actually meet with.
Yeah.
And just like you go to like pull away from the embrace, and he just keeps you there for one like a second more, and he says, "Sooner than later, I'm gonna have a piece of this city carved out for me and mine. There's always room for another brother." And then he's just kind of, releases you and walks away. And then you kind of see that moving through the crowd with him, there are a couple other, like, clearly Skovlan, dudes. And they all look tough as nails and like brutal dudes.
So cool. I'm in the bear cave.
Who else has a downtime activity that they would like to do?
I think we should leave the chef results to last. So I think Spark finds her way home, and I want to do a long-term project, and the long-term project is finding the truth.
Finding the
truth.
The truth of like your history.
Yeah, because she doesn't know. All she knows is that the uncle he's like kind of weird, and he is awake when no one else is awake, and sometimes she wakes up in the middle of the night and he's just staring at her. She doesn't know why. And then it got to a point where they got into a fight about it when he wasn't home, and then Raphael sat her down, and all she knows is that someone who is really important to the uncle died, and she looks just like her. But then whenever she would press on about it, he would just be like, "Don't talk to me about it," kind of stuff. Or like he'll try to change the subject. Okay.
I'm going to make this...
It could be as long as however you want, because it could take a while.
I'm going to make this an 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Cerulean seeks truth. Okay. And how are you beginning to pursue that long-term project?
I think after the party, she kind of like meanders around. I think it isn't until like maybe like a day or two later, she kind of like snaps out of it and is like, okay, well, I need to eat. I need to sleep. I need to do stuff.
And you're pretty beat up, but I'm not like punishing you with actual wounds. But you have like it just grazed like a non-essential, like a deposit of fat or something.
Yeah.
With that dagger, and then you just bruised and beaten, but you're healing up. You'll be all right for the next score for sure.
And I think she makes her way home instead of going back to the hideout. She feels like shit. And
hideout's not there.
Hideout's gone. Lair's gone.
She's probably gonna come back like a week later and be like, "Where the fuck is everybody?" Salty's like, "What are you doing here?" But she goes home and she probably passes out, and then she wakes up when she hears Raphael come home. And I think she's gonna try to make conversation about her powers, because she's the only one that she knows that has powers, and she kind of wants to know where it comes from.
Now, it is... In the lore, whispers are made, not born. So, like, they're skills that technically anyone could learn. You just have a knack for them. So, it's not like a sorcerer where it's in your blood or anything like that. But you just kind of have a natural inclination toward the ghost field and things arcane. So, that can be, it's not like a chosen one type situation, but or like born that way and nobody else does it. But you're the only one in my
family
who does that kind of thing. Yeah.
And so she'll probably try to talk to him about it.
And what's your goal with this? Just kind of like pressing him to see what he knows a little bit?
Yes, because she used to ask him a lot when she was like younger, but like now like not so much anymore, because she kind of like understood like, oh, he's not interested. Yeah, he's not interested in discussing
it. And so now you're kind of like pushing. I
need to know like why I feel these feelings towards, like the arcane, and like I need to know where it comes from, because it obviously doesn't come from you, and it doesn't come from Uncle. Like, it has to come from somewhere in
the family.
Yeah.
Okay. And what action are you thinking you'd use for pressing him?
What do you think about study? Like,
oh, so you're like having this conversation and you're intensely studying how he reacts, things like that. Absolutely.
Okay.
All that.
That was a 4.
A 4. Okay, so I'm going to mark 2 ticks on this clock. 2 down, 6 more to go. Yeah, and you have this interaction with him where you're talking to him about your powers, and you can tell that each time you kind of bring this up, and even if it's just an offhand comment, like, I wonder where this kind of all started, where it came from. You can tell that, you know, there's just that twinge of uncomfortableness that Raphael has, and he's pretty good at putting on a stoic face, but it's hard for him when he's, you know, sitting across from you I feel like you have a lot of interactions, but the conversations where you're actually like sat down and looking each other in the eye and having a conversation, that's something that you've kind of pushed on him that isn't something that happens too much anymore. And so you're watching him and he can feel like the intensity, and you can see him reacting every time you talk about the origins of your powers and where they might have come from. And you know he knows something. You're just not to a point where any of that information is becoming clear.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
You go to.
I'd like to relieve some stress, but
Okay.
I don't know how.
Yeah, we need to find a new vice purveyor.
Woo! You go to frequents these restaurants and stuff like that for the goods and the pleasures and the luxury, but also to socialize with people for her scoundrel crew, and then also for her little business that she still has to run, right? So the whole socializing aspect is a big part of
Who she is. And what she does, yeah.
And what she does, and why she indulges in luxury so often is to like kind of boost her social status. So something to do with maybe not, it doesn't have to be specifics to like the food industry, but it can just be like a social environment.
We could have a place in Night Market, which is the trade center for exotic goods imported by rail. Many vendors also trade in illicit goods. So you could find somewhere
By
in there
rail?
that's more about the
rail.
goods.
Ghost train?
Ghost chain?
Would it be like a social club?
Have you seen the movie The Menu? It's like an experimental kitchen. Let's put it like that, where a bunch of stupid, annoying rich people go, and she'll go there. But like rich, like stupid, annoying, like rich people who like, they're like, oh yeah, you know, the theater, the normal things that rich people do are so boring. Let's go to like this weird kitchen where like an experience is what you're buying, right?
Yeah. You go to Katum's kitchen. And Katum is a Severosi man. The Severosi are considered wild because they generally live in nomadic horse tribes scattered across the blasted Deathlands, surviving within the ruins of ancient arcane fortresses which still repel spirits. So Katum is this guy with a wild kind of shock of tightly curled dark hair that he has kind of up into a ponytail that kind of explodes behind his head. And there's all sorts of, it's very like avant-garde food stuff.
Nice.
Molecular gastronomy?
Yeah, that might be it. The scientific approach of nutrition from the perspective of chemistry, but it ends up with all these crazy, like weird looking things that barely resemble food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's all sorts of weird stuff that happens. There's also like, if you're into that sort of thing, experimental cocktails that will fuck you up in ways that basically they infuse drugs into the food and treat them in interesting ways that have strange effects based on what dish they're paired with and things like that. So it's like, it's an experience beyond just the culinary. Of course, though, if you want to go there just for the culinary, because you don't generally partake of alcohol or drugs.
This is true.
There is also just all sorts of crazy, interesting foods to try. And, you know, very expensive because of how, first of all, the supplies they use are wild, but also, you know, the experience of it is really marketed to upper class folk who want to feel like they're in on the part of something special.
Yeah.
But that's also a great place for you to get your fix both of food and social interaction. So yeah, you find a new vice purveyor in Katoom of Katoom's Kitchen.
It's like the one with the lowest. So
Yep, your lowest attribute.
Dang. A solid 1.
Oh, nice. So you lose 1 stress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, that sucks.
It's the stress of finding a new place and not really fitting in or knowing the
It makes
regulars
sense.
yet.
It makes
You're kind of,
sense. I'll work
this
my
is
way
the
up.
process of you establishing yourself as a regular, over the couple weeks it
Yes.
takes.
Also, I would like to reduce heat, but not necessarily in the. I want to.
You tell me
reduce-
how you do it.
Yeah, I'd like to reduce the wanted level.
Okay. That I believe is going to be a long-term project because you're, what are you doing? Framing Chef Roselle?
Yep.
Okay.
Indeed.
That's going to be a long-term project, only a 4 o'clock.
Oh, I can finish that today.
How are you framing Chef Roselle? What action would you like to use?
Well, obviously, we're gonna sway our way through it. I'm gonna sway my way through this.
Sure.
Through the art of gossip, and alibi creation and alibi destroying, stuff like this.
So basically, you end up discovering a bunch of the people who are at that party and confirming that they saw Chef Roselle there, and the fact that some of them spotted him opening a door, or at least introducing you to,
Not me.
or like introducing some people to the boss and kind of taking liberties and things like that. But basically, and then they saw him opening a door into and you're also taking a few things that people saw. It was,
Like, he went with
through
them.
that door.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went with this group of masked people.
Did you see him for the rest
Yeah.
of the night? I
Yeah,
didn't.
and then he disappeared.
That-
Yeah. And then Lord Berkeley ends up dead? Like, how do you explain that? Yeah, and then...
And what was Chef Roselle even doing at that party? Like, he has no business. It's just he's not even that good of a chef. Like,
And that dolphin was undercooked.
it was
It was chewy. It was weird.
definitely just like weaseled himself into that situation.
Yes, absolutely. I love this. Roll sway.
4.
4.
That's
Okay,
decent.
2 ticks.
That's good.
2 takes.
Halfway there.
And then I'm getting rid of a coin. And then I think, so that I was pretty unsuccessful in this previous roll to reduce stress. I'm going to roll one more time. So I'm going to...
Sure.
That's my personal coin that I'm getting rid of to do stress one more time. And we still will have... I have this marked down right here. Do you have it marked down
I have it marked down on here, so
Okay. I just had
I'll
it
get
as
rid
a
of it when
personal
we use
reminder.
it.
Okay. Well, we just use it because I'm going to use this coin to
Well,
reduce stress.
we use one of these coins
Yeah.
to
Frame.
frame.
So one of the crew coins is being
Yeah.
used to
Okay,
frame
yeah.
Chef
And then you
Roselle.
use your personal coin to okay.
And I'll do that right now to just
Okay.
reduce stress one more time. Oops. Okay, I'll take it 5. Fell out
Alrighty.
of my hand.
Yeah, you
1,
reduce
2, 3, 4, 5.
5
Okay,
more
we're good.
stress.
Nice.
As you
Now
kind
I'll
of
take my pencil.
establish yourself in that
And you didn't
scene in Night Market.
Yeah, that could have.
That
Yeah.
was- yeah.
So
That's perfect.
for your vice now, erase what you have and write Katoom.
She wrote in pen.
Oh, of
I
course
did,
you
but I
did.
scribbled it out, so it's okay.
Katoom is spelled Khatum.
I was close. Someone took my pencil.
Khatum.
Here you go.
Katoom's Kitchen.
Katum's kitchen.
Weird
Weird.
culinary stuff, I guess.
Molecular gastroenterology.
Gastronomy.
Gastronomy.
Molecular gastronomy.
Weird food.
You run into Sawtooth at some point over the next several days during downtime. And Cerulean, when she comes back and finds the lair, is like, no, they're still down there. There's one of them keeping watch in case you come back.
Oh.
And he said, oh, also, I kept this hidden, but this got dropped off for you a few days ago.
Thanks.
And he hands you a note, and stamped on it is the head of a crow, like the image of a crow's head.
crow's foot.
She'll
I'm
look
confused.
over her shoulder and then just like put it under her cloak. And just be like, okay, thanks.
Oh, hush, hush. I got it.
See you, Sawtooth. Then I'm going to go, I assume, to Yagoda's apartment because that's the only other place people will congregate. So
None of us.
Make my way there. Is anybody there?
I am.
And it is like it's a note that's like folded up, and on the outside it's stamped with the crow's head.
Shoot out a message to the group text.
Oh my God. You're okay. Oh, this is good news.
I wake up. You're okay.
Oh, I forgot about it. Yes, it's so good to see you're okay.
How are you doing? Oh my.
I'm great.
Are we cool?
I walk past her, and then I see if anyone else is here.
Are we there? We're there.
And then
We can be there if we want to
Are
be.
we cool?
Yeah, I might as well
I'm
be
glad
there.
you're doing okay, Spark. I was thinking of you the other night. I have something for you. I think you'd be interested. I think you're the only one that could really decode any of this. And I pull out the journal of Horace Berkeley's personal journal. Mm-hmm. We read some of it. There's something with this vessel character. Don't know who
she
that
grabs it
is.
from your hand.
All yours, my dude. I have no idea what to make of it.
And then she swaps it out for the letter.
Oh.
Sawtooth gave me that.
Is it okay in our lair? No. Shoot.
Flip.
Yeah, I mean, your lair is blown because it was a hidden lair. It is no longer hidden. You're going to have to find a new one, basically. And we'll probably handle that next downtime.
Spark? Is that Spark out here?
Yeah, Sparks.
Yeah, she's okay.
She found us. I was so worried that you weren't going to be able to find us.
Kavalov comes running from the other room.
Yeah.
I feel your
Spark,
sincerity.
You're okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
No offense, you look awful, but
Yeah.
what happened?
Oh, well, all I remember was a lot of lights. Then I was floating in some river. I think I saw somebody help pull me out.
They do anything to you? Are you...
Just besides beat the shit out of me, no.
Well, thank God they didn't kill you.
Yeah. We're glad you're okay.
Thanks.
We knew you'd get out of there alive.
Shut up, Yagoda. You sound like a bitch.
I'm going to my room. No, it's all right.
This is your room.
It's a studio apartment. What are we even saying?
Studio apartment.
What is
Very
it?
loudly closes a very thin door. Like you'll just overhear all the conversation through the bedroom door because it's on the other side of the wall.
What does the letter say?
I don't know.
You see written on the inside of this letter with the crow's head stamped on it. The wind blows and things change. Alliances can too. Think wisely who you side with in the coming days.
Do we know of another faction that
Yeah.
involves a crow?
The gang called the Crows.
That would make sense then.
That is the former ward bosses of Crow's Foot. They took a hit in power because of a leadership change, and that is what allowed the Lampblacks and the Red Sashes to ignite this war because there wasn't the Crows kind of ruling over the district. But it seems that the Crows have gotten their shit together at least enough to look out over the rest of the district and see what's going on.
What do you
anyone-
make of it?
Has anyone heard from Bazo recently?
Kirk told us that he's okay, but...
Something happened to Bazo.
Oh,
Well, it's not. The war's not looking so great for our homies up there. So we're kind of just waiting to hear what happens, you know, who we hear from, what we can do to help and whatnot. But we haven't heard anything unless someone has.
I did encounter another crew while I was out this week. They may be a good neutral spot to go to
Okay.
in the midst of this war ending, which I don't know about you guys, but I think we should end as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. For the sake of us getting a new lair and that one just being completely destroyed. Like I want nothing to do with this war or any future wars anymore.
What if we got out of town for a little while?
Where do we go?
I don't know.
I mean, even
See where the
under a
wind
war-
takes us, you know?
Under a war, like, we're safer in the city borders than outside. I completely agree. Like, this is a terrible situation that we found ourselves in. There's a lot more weird stuff. Like, we've experienced weird stuff in the past week, and there's a lot weirder stuff going on outside there.
Well, I think we'll be freer to do what we need to do once this war is done, and we don't have every faction with their eyes on us.
For sure.
Also, any headway with Chef Roselle?
Still a bitch. I talked to some people. We got it situated a little.
Okay.
I rated a 4 out of 6 in terms of success.
4 out of 6?
2 out of 4.
I think we're at a 2 out of 4.
The roll was a 4 out of 6.
Oh, I got it.
2, I'm like halfway there.
Halfway?
You're halfway there.
Okay, we're doing okay.
I know we have like one more coin. Maybe I could use it to get back into the... we can take care of that another time. I feel like we have bigger things on our plate right now. Speaking of plates, can I offer you some food? You look famished. Like, you look like you haven't eaten or slept or
Ever.
been to a doctor.
I always look like this.
Can I get you something to eat? I'm going to go get you something to eat.
I'm not gonna say no.
I'll give her
Just like 3 oysters that she brings out.
Here you
That's
go.
pretty bougie.
Yeah.
mushrooms with like a little bit of like basil. Just a little bit, 'cause that's all I have in my
Sauteed.
actual kitchen. I don't do much eating in-house, but here you go.
She just takes it and then like eats it with her hands, and you cringe a little. She just picks it up with her hand, just like stuffs in her face.
Neatly sets out
Yeah.
a fork and knife on a napkin and everything,
Little
and then you
cloth
just
napkin.
It takes
pick
you
it up and eat
15
it.
minutes to set this table.
Yeah. And like you're really, really extra with like the garnish of basil. It's like the plating is immaculate, and then she just picks it up with her hands and eats it.
That's okay. I hope you feel
The
better.
grunt of pain.
None of us take any notice. We're like, okay.
Thanks, Yugoda. It just tastes like mushrooms.
But can you you experience the senses of the greenery? Open your mind to like those experiences. Do you hear the music playing in your head?
Okay, anyway, so what are we?
Ratatouille?
Turns away from the Yoda's rambling and continues the conversation like normal.
So, we got to try to end this war. How do we do that? Where do we play in this? We had taken a very clear side before, and now it looks like that side is very much not doing great.
Well, either way, the Red Sashes don't like us.
That's true.
It'll be easier if we stay on the sides that we've created thus far. If that is even relevant going into this next job, we should see what Bazobaz has for us and try to end this thing.
So, the crows who sent us this note, I'm assuming. What do we know about them? Where do their allegiances lie? In terms of lamp blacks, red sashes, somewhere in between.
I think Bazobaz talked about because there's that power imbalance that he was going to take advantage of that. So literally down the line, he might do something against them. And I think that's why they're contacting us.
So we should try to get in touch with Bazo first, right?
Yep. See what Bazo has for us.
You are able to kind of grab a hold of a lampblack that you see in Crow's Foot. You know where they hang out, and they're around, even though their headquarters is kind of in shambles. The coal warehouse took a hit, and they're laying low, and it's closed down for now because basically what happened is the Red Sashes launched an assault on the warehouse to rescue Isha and kill a bunch of lampblacks. You are able to get a hold of a lampblack and get the word to Bazo that you want to meet with him. And it's kind of a surreal experience. Bazo, I mean, do you give them like the location of your apartment? It's not hidden though.
It's true.
Yeah. So I think
We can meet in like the bar downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's above Clyra's bar.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because usually you see Bazo framed against this wall of liquor bottles, and you just line your eyes, not framed like framed for a crime, but
I mean like
yeah,
continue.
you normally see him framed against this wall of liquor bottles with lampblacks standing in full gear around him, striking this very powerful figure. But as you kind of meet him downstairs in Clyra's bar, you see that he is using a cane to walk because one of his legs was injured, and he is wearing, instead of the if coal dusty clothes, like well kept, black, intimidating clothes, his clothes are kind of in shambles a little bit. His hair is tousled, and He just looks like he's trying to get back on his feet, but he's still kind of got the fire in his eye, even though it's a little manic at this point rather than, securely confident. And he says, "It's good to talk to you folks at Crimson Wake. Looks like you got through it almost better than we did. You weren't home when the Red Sashes came knocking, eh?"
No, we were not.
"I heard you were looking for work. I might have something for you."
Mm-hmm. Clyra, dear, can we just have a round of the finest whiskey that you have?
I'm gonna say.
Describe how you envision Clyra.
I've always pictured her as kind of like this jolly plump bartender woman, but like just good natured and fun to be around. Like the life of the party. For every bit that Yagoda is social, she is equally social, but in a happy way. And Yagoda's kind of just
in a better than you way.
Yeah. She's yeah. She evens Yagoda out.
Sure thing, Yagoda. I gotcha. And
thank you.
She will
Thanks, darling.
pour up several glasses and bring them out on a tray. And Bazo just kind of takes it and waves it under his nose and then takes a sip, and you can just see some of the tension just releases from his shoulders as he takes a sip of this. And he says, "This might be more up your alley as a smuggling crew. I'll need you to take an object and get it into an office at Charterhall University without anybody knowing about it."
Is it a good object or a bad object?
It's just an object.
Okay.
Your job ain't to ask questions.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
That's what I've got for you. You can take your time, think it over, and let me know, but
Sounds good.
please do so quickly.
Okay.
Where can we get back to with our decision?
You can leave a message at the warehouse. There'll be somebody to check on it, even if nobody's home.
Will this help with the war?
There are many masters and many goals that a man may find himself indebted to, and many focuses that need to be addressed. But that's all I can say about that.
How big is it?
About yay big.
Okay.
Is it a bomb?
No, it's not a bomb. I can tell you that.
Is he lying?
No.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my next question. Is he lied at all through this?
No.
He's kind of just not answered any of the
He
questions.
hasn't. That question
Such a
he didn't really
politician. I
answer,
hate
but
this
he
guy.
hasn't lied.
Okay.
I'll just go through the list of things that are suspicious. Is it this? No. Okay. Is it this? No. Okay. I'm not going to do that, actually, but I'm
right.
just a lie detector.
We will.
Let me know if you're interested.
We'll get back to you.
All right. Thanks for the whiskey. And he'll finish it, nod to Clyra, and kind of use his cane and limp out of there.
Well, I don't know how you feel, but usually the past couple missions Basil Bass has given us, it's usually related to the war. He didn't say yes or no, and we're planning something unknown in Charter Hall where a lot of civilian people are. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I think this Basil mission seems pretty easy. We've got an in with your knowledge already. Mm-hmm. It's something that will get us money, get us back on our feet, because we've been beaten pretty bad these past couple jobs.
And
it'd be nice to have something easy.
This last job we didn't get much payout for. It would be nice to get some more shmoney for.
And if this does help Bazo win the war and just get it over with,
yeah.
I see your concern. What if it is a bomb?
Well, it's not a bomb.
Oh, right.
Well, what else could it be that's dangerous? Obviously nothing.
Well,
so
it might not be dangerous.
Right.
It might be a bottle of whiskey. Or
List of the things that are dangerous. A bomb. That's it. That's the whole list.
That's all that we asked about in this scene. There you go.
I think I don't think we're in the shape to do a heist at the moment, especially with the blue coats on our tail.
We need money.
especially in Brightstone. That's very, very, very watched. We don't need that sort of risk on top of the regular risk of a score. So let's go and get some money and help out our good friend Bazo. Yeah?
I guess we are. I mean, the letter that we got said, be careful who you pick a side, and we're just going and picking another side. You know what I mean? Keeping our side remaining. This is
Letter's
by
weird.
picking the easy option, we are also picking a hard option of picking a side. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know a crow?
No.
Do you want to maybe go talk a little?
I can go gather information. I love to do that. Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
what action would you like to use to try and gather information about the crows and about what this letter might mean?
I am going to consort with my acquaintances.
Do you have somebody in mind specifically who would have a connection to the crows?
Okay, Clara's tavern is in Crow's Foot.
Yeah,
Yeah?
true.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she might know the crows. They might come into the tavern occasionally. Well, I think it'll be determined by the outcome of your roll.
okay, I'll roll.
So go ahead and roll consort.
Is this using another coin?
No, this is just gathering
Okay.
information. That doesn't cost a coin. This is not a downtime activity.
Cool.
There's 4.
Oh, yeah, Yagoda. I know a bit about the crows. I don't know any of them personally, but they used to run this place till Lissa took out Rorik, or at least that's the rumor, the old boss. But from what I hear, she's doing a decent job of kind of taking back over control. They're almost back in power of being ward boss at Crowsfoot. That war between the Lampblacks and the Red Sashes, that'll be quelled pretty quick. You know, either by them destroying each other or by the crows stepping back in and showing them who's boss. Yeah, Liz is their new leader. I don't necessarily know any of them personally, but I mean, everybody knows they've got their headquarters in that abandoned city watchtower in the middle of Crowsfoot. So you could always seek an audience with them there. Make sure you know where your allegiances lie before you do that. They can be a tough crew.
Okay. I appreciate you, Clyra. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I'm sorry, there's a lot of things going through my head right now.
No,
You know-
I get it. You want something to drink?
Like the usual. Shirley Temple.
Alrighty then.
Virgin, of course. No
Yeah.
alcohol. So, do we want to go and meet with the crows?
It sounds like the way that Clyra was putting it, it's very dangerous to do so. And if we do that, it's kind of like picking a side. It's like if we pick one option, it's picking a side. If we pick the other option, it's like picking a side.
All right. We don't know these crows.
Yeah. We don't have reputation.
we know
with
Basso.
them.
Going to their headquarters and like walking in and having talks with their leader, if Bazo heard about that,
Yeah.
that would be something that he could interpret maybe reasonably so as you kind of trying to go behind his back with stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't really care about all like this war stuff, but it would be nice if it was over.
That's where I'm at. So we in agreement?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make some easy coin, sounds like.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe this doesn't even play into the war and we're not really picking a side by doing a small favor for an old friend, you know?
Optimistically, yes.
So we're taking Bazo's job.
Yep.
Planting something in an office at Charter Hall. Let's do our engagement roll so I know where we're starting when we pick up next episode. What kind of plan are you going to use?
Doesn't our mother work there?
Your mom does work there as a professor.
Easy dub. We're delivering a package to our mom. We should probably do social, right?
You could do negotiate, bargain, or persuade.
We know people.
And then the detail is the social connection, and you could say, my mom.
yeah, exactly. My mom. I know professors. I know everyone there. I was
Sure, you want to go with social?
Yeah.
The detail, the social connection is your mom.
Yeah.
Item loadouts.
Light.
Like,
Well, somebody has to carry the package. Is the package a load?
We gotta look at what the package is before we like leave it there.
Oh, we're definitely looking at
No,
what the package is.
I'm not going to count that.
Okay.
Yeah, I say we all go in light.
Let's go in light.
Is this operation particularly bold or daring?
No.
No.
We
Is this
picked it.
operation overly complex or contingent on many factors?
No.
No.
We can make it complex.
Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
Mom.
I have no idea.
Does using your mom
She's just a
expose a
professor,
vulnerability?
Right? She's not.
Is Charter Hall?
Oh, that's true.
Is Charter Hall like? Would they overlook something because of family? I think it's very possible. I'm gonna roll a fortune roll. Nope, they're not overly like yeah, just go ahead, bring your kids to work, kind of deal. They still have security. Mm-hmm. Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? No. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? Yeah, I would say your mom, and then definitely even you guys being alums, have knowledge of the university.
Oh, I didn't graduate.
Go to the homecoming.
Former students. So we start with 1 and we add 1 for that. Are there any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? No. Are there any other elements you want to consider? Maybe a lower tier target will give you plus 1d. Maybe a higher tier target will give you minus 1d. I'm going to take 1 away because of the high security in Charter Hall.
Fair enough.
So we're just rolling 1 die for our engagement roll.
Gosh.
That's a 2.
God,
so we will be
damn it.
starting in a desperate position.
XP!
All right. And that is where we will pick up next episode. Follow us on Patreon, where you will get access to the Blades After Dark after show. Thank you for listening, and good night, mortals.
Cue that music, baby.